That's two opportunities right there, back to back for the Red Raiders. Just an easy, yeah, nice to see Deshaun hit a shot early on with this start. That's clearly a reward for him.
Only about 34% for ball games. Lou Hill admits his team not very good shooting the basketball, but there's Terry Winn with a fadeaway on the baseline over Tariq Owens. Tough on that Red Raider defense tonight. Here's Terry Winn, who's back in the ball game against Culver. Got him in the lane, powers his way up, shot not there, got the rebound and scores, and will go to the line. Red Raiders, as you can see, continue to lead the country in that field goal defense. Out of time, Tyson Smith in the corner. Terry Winn got Culver in the air and steps around the Red Raider forward at three-point line on the way off the iron, not good.
Excellent work right there on the low block.
Really like Corprew. Terry Winn has one of those fancy NBA player shoes.
Yeah, Steph Curry's, baby.
Oh, wow. Terry Winn. Ready. Chris, very likely we will not see Lorenzo Dease tonight.
Yeah, and I think that he may be available. I think it's kind of a precautionary issue. I think it was a decision, honestly, that maybe was made right there in pregame warm-ups in front of us about 20 minutes ago. But just going to be smart with him and be a little bit smaller of a lineup for the Red Raiders out there tonight.
Here's Davide Moretti to get the Red Raiders started, a guy that struggled from the outside, Chris. Only 3 of his last 14 three-pointers before that one, but gets the Red Raiders off the right way.
Yeah, nice to see him be able to shoot it. And you'll certainly have some opportunities over this Vaqueros defense tonight. Not much size for the road team this evening.
Danae Way on the inside goes about 6'10".
Yeah, and you can see Varner got a hold of Culver's jersey right there. That's what they would call pass interference. If this was a football game right there, just got a handful of jersey, and Tom Eads saw that as Culver cut through the lane.
John Higgins and Kirby Smart, the other officials tonight. Eads and John Higgins, veterans of the NCAA's Final Four. A couple of really good officials there. That's Varner from the outside, knocking down a three, only his 13th three-pointer of the year, but evens the score here in Lubbock. Nice pass from Owens and a great job by Jared Culver, but he's got to finish.
Well, that's two opportunities right there, back to back for the Red Raiders. Just an easy opportunity of an inbounds play that Tariq Owens just kind of fumbles away right there, and then Jarrett Culver not able to finish at the rim. You just never know how your team's going to bounce back after the holiday. Again, we talked about that earlier, just a tricky time of year, and Chris Beard really on his group earlier today, just making sure they're ready to play.
Red Raiders had 4 days off after that ball game against Duke at Madison Square Garden. Back on Christmas night to start working out. Culver didn't get the layup, but got the outside jumper to even the score at 5.
Yeah, when all else fails, just throw it to number 23 and let him create right there with a nice step-back jumper from about 15, 16 foot.
Averaging nearly 20 points a ball game. Mooney tried to step in after that pass by Javon Levi and gets tangled up with Winn.
Yeah, and neither Mooney and Winn, neither wanted to separate right there. Winn kind of held on to Matt Mooney for a little bit there as they were both going for that loose ball.
Varner trying to inbound the ball, wanted to get it to Levi. Moretti thought he had tipped it off the Texas Rio Grande Valley guard, but the officials see it a different way. That one inbounded to Way, but pushed off on Moretti that time, and the offensive foul will give the ball back to the Red Raiders.
Well, and Texas Tech switching everything on defense right there, and so you know what you're going to get when Moretti switches off on the way right there. They were trying to get a post ISO situation, and Way kind of pushed off on Moretti. Probably outweighs him by about 50 pounds at least.
Wow, do like Deshaun Corporeau in that starting lineup for the first time, and the sophomore out of Norfolk, Virginia, knocking down the three. That'll get you out of a press in a hurry.
Yeah, nice to see Deshaun hit a shot early on with this start. That's clearly a reward for him. As we talked about, Norrance being held out, looks like, tonight. And so do you go with Kyler Edwards? Do you go with Brandon Francis? Or do you go with Deshaun Corporeau? And Corporeau gets the nod, certainly answered it early.
Couple of buckets for Terry Winn for the Vaqueros, a transfer to Rio Grande Valley from UTEP. Tariq Owens wanted to get that ball around way inside, but he kicked it.
Yeah, just that one-handed bounce pass right there. Again, Rio Grande Valley will gamble for steals out here, on the above the three-point line. They will gamble, go for that. That's their identity, and so there's some things to be had if you're patient and you take care of the basketball. Little sloppy with it right there with the one-handed pass, but still Texas Tech's ball.
Brandon Francis and Kyler Edwards in for Chris Beard. Here's Corporeau again from the corner, wide open. That three's not going to go. Rebound pulled down by Jordan Jackson, a familiar name to Red Raider fans.
Yeah, don't you know he's wound up to play this one.
Was a former Red Raider before transferring to Midland College and then to Texas Rio Grande Valley. His mother, of course, is Cheryl Swoops, who might just be the best female player all time in the game of basketball. Way got the steal there. That ball deflected off the backboard. Levi got it back and scores. For a team that doesn't shoot the basketball all that well, UT Rio Grande Valley off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, they bust here all day yesterday. About a 10, 11-hour bus ride. So, you wonder how they were going to come out. That's a lot to endure for a basketball player that's got a basketball game to play the next day, being in a bus for that long.
That wasn't their plan, but their flight was canceled. Wow. Jarrett Culver with Jordan Jackson draped all over him.
Just a tough
knocking
shot.
That one down, yeah. So their flight was canceled, and they wound up riding the bus from the valley and got in late last night. Way has averaged 2 points a game in the 3 games that he has played. Got the jumper there. The Red Raiders have turned it over, trying to inbound the... All right, thank you, Taylor. Back to play now. Greg Bowie had wanted to check in for the Vaqueros, but was sent back to the scorer's table and then allowed back into the game for the first time.
That's a doorknob in a box is what that ring is. Unbelievable.
Apparently, they only come in the extra large size.
That's right.
That's Terry Winn at the free throw line for UT Rio Grande Valley. A 74% shooter, cannot get the first of 2. Trying to add to their lead, and does with the second attempt. The Vaqueros will continue to pressure the Red Raiders, and that's what they do. And this is their best defender on Kyler Edwards, Javon Levi.
Yeah, he's a bulldog. I mean, Texas Tech does not want to mess around with the pressure from Levi. Whereas number 14, Texas Tech well aware of the pressure right there, and Brandon Francis careless with the ball at the top of the key right there.
Just handed that ball to Leslie Varner and then fouled him as he took off with the ball. Another turnover by the Red Raiders. That's their 4th of the game. Chris, this sort of really has been a way for the Red Raiders to start slowly in ball games.
Yeah, and just, again, you just wonder how a team's going to come back after the break. There was so much emphasis on that game in New York. Then you have the holiday and you're out of town and you come back and, I think you try to shake them up a little bit if you're the coach, trying to wake them up and make them understand, this thing's about to get real in a hurry. So maybe it may take a little bit for Texas Tech to have to settle in to this game. And this Rio Grande Valley team, they're good. They've played a tough schedule, barely lost to a Houston team. 8 wins, 6 losses on the season, very well coached. Former Lon Kruger assistant, Coach Hill. So, again, you better be cleaner and sharper with the basketball, or these Vaqueros, they're going to take advantage of it.
Lou Hill in his 3rd year down in Edinburgh. You mentioned his time with Lon Kruger at Oklahoma, has also coached at Texas A&M. This Kyler Edwards from near the free throw line, that jumper good over Varner. The Red Raiders have evened the score at 12-all.
A lot of perimeter looks for Texas Tech on the offensive end. Not much in the paint. Again, no Lawrence Odiase likely tonight. Malik Ondigo has gotten some run so far in this game, but Texas Tech will go with a smaller lineup most of the night.
Tyson Smith trying to get around Davide Moretti does, but Tariq Owens there to not let him shoot the ball, but Greg Bowie. Another 3 for the Vaqueros.
And the Vaqueros, they only make about a little over 5 a game. They're one of the worst in the NCAA as far as, threes made per game. So this is not typically how they'll beat a team. But Mr. Bowie with a nice look right there from the left wing.
Got a couple. Here's Corprew inside, trying to take advantage of Bowie. The shot short, and then he gets his own rebound, puts it back up and in. Corprew is just a beast inside.
Yeah, and that's his M.O. right there. He's just going to out-tough somebody underneath and puts back his own miss.
Long-range jumper doesn't go for Tyson Smith. The Red Raiders going to hurry the ball up the court quickly. Counting down towards 13 minutes to go in this first half. Red Raiders down by 1, but not now. Kyler Edwards, a second long-range shot.
Boy, and I mean, both teams are shooting over 70% here early. I mean, everything is going in.
This a UT Rio Grande Valley team that shoots only about 34% for ball games. Lou Hill admits his team not very good shooting the basketball, but there's Terry Winn with a fadeaway on the baseline over Tariq Owens.
So these teams have combined to go 14 of 19 early on. Combined. So everything going in. The defensive coaches on these staffs, Mark Adams, obviously that for Texas Tech. Probably not real thrilled about all the made buckets, giving up 17 points early on.
That was a tough shot by Winn a moment ago.
Yeah, that fadeaway, kind of turnaround jumper right there from the short corner. Hard to defend that.
Over a guy with 7-foot arms, too. Matt Mooney back on for the Red Raiders, who were 10-1 on the year. That lone loss, of course, to Duke at Madison Square Garden a little over a week ago. Tariq Owens, nice shot there, but in and out. Bowie got it for UT Rio Grande Valley. Tyson Smith going to get called for getting his hand underneath that basketball and turning it over.
Yeah, it's a tough call. John Higgins right there. Typically, you're supposed to your hand's got to be underneath it, and it technically the rules states that it rests there for a second. I don't know if it did or not, but he tried it with the stutter step, and then Matt Mooney with the nice one-handed finish at the other end right there is the seas parted right there, and he had the whole right side of the lane to himself.
Got his defender looking away, and Matt Mooney recognized that and took the ball right to the rack to score. Red Raiders back by 2. Here's Bowie on the drive in the lane, rejected by Kyler Edwards, and the Red Raiders are going to run 3-on-2. Mooney went the entire way, going to get fouled. He'll be at the free throw line when we return. Red Raiders lead by 2 early. You're watching Texas Tech TV on Fox.
Red Raider fans, it's time to take.
Red Raiders, as you can see, continue to lead the country in that field goal defense, just making it tough on the opposition. Less than 33%. That is about what the Vaqueros have shot over the course of this season. They opened their year by hosting Oklahoma. Lost that one 91 to 76. They have played Houston tough. They've lost to East Carolina, but they are putting a scare in the Red Raiders tonight. Down by 2, under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Owens tried to get it inside to Moretti, who was double teamed. Red Raiders turn it over. Varner, a 3. Not there. Owens, who threw it away on the other end, got the rebound.
It just pressured 94 feet. I mean, you are just not gonna. That's almost like a make right there for the way Rio Grande Valley wants to set up their defense, but they're just going to pressure you all the way up and down the floor.
Nice look inside by Corprew, who got the ball to Matt Mooney. Scored right in front of the rim. Javon Levi going to set the offense up. That's Corprew defending the 6'7", 240-pound Winn. Step back jumper not there. Wade tipped it back to Winn. His second attempt doesn't go. Varner inside can't score. Finally, Corprew for the Red Raiders out of there with the basketball. Matt Mooney open 3, look, not there. But Corprew crashes the offensive boards.
Yeah, he's certainly providing the energy for his basketball team, and they need every bit of it.
Started tonight for the first time in his Red Raider career. Here's Culver, wide open 3. Got it.
Yeah, Lou Hill wants to talk about it for a little bit. He can sense the Red Raiders starting to figure it out.
Red Raiders lead by 7 after Culver hits the 3.
Certainly improved to 11-1 if they can hang on tonight. But again, another loaded Big 12 conference. Oklahoma, certainly a bit of a surprise in the non-conference. They had, I think, 4 true road wins there. TCU did a good job in the non-conference recently in Hawaii. You knew what you were going to get from the Jayhawks, and the Red Raiders are right there.
Greg Bowie back on for Lou Hill's Vaqueros. Working against Brandon Francis, gave that ball up to Javon Levi. Here's Tyson Smith in the corner to Bowie, knocked down Moretti, no foul. His shot off the mark, and Brandon Francis clearing for the Red Raiders. By the way, those Big 12 standings brought to you by Plains Capital Bank. Ride with the good guys at Plains Capital Bank. Matt Mooney trying to find an opening, wanted Moretti inside, did not get him the ball. Shot clock is at 6 and in the hands of Culver, who's got 9. Tyson Smith defending. Culver fade away from outside that free throw line, and it is good. Culver 5 of 8 shooting the ball tonight.
Well, that's like a Dirk Nowitzki. I mean, step back, fade away, one-legged jumper from. I mean, that's just, there's nothing Rio Grande Valley can do about that. And Levi comes back with a floater. They are not going away.
Red Raiders still by 7. UT Rio Grande Valley began this game 7 of 10. They're now 4 of their last 13, so they've cooled off quite a bit. Mooney drives inside, stops, and hits that shot.
And not much offense for Texas Tech. They're just, again, just settling for mid-range jumpers, but the last 2 have certainly gone in.
Tyson Smith had an open look but fumbled that ball around. Got it to Varner, who's determined to drive the lane. Raiders cut him off. Tyson Smith got inside. This Greg Bowie got Davide Moretti in the air but can't hit the open 3. And Jarrett Culver, who leads this Red Raider team in rebounds and scoring, pulled down that loose ball.
Yeah, he leads this team in about every statistical category there is.
Davide Moretti driving to the basket, nearly a circus layup. But he will get the opportunity at the free throw line.
He has some English on that one.
Yes, he did.
That was like a pool shot. They had a pool table back there in the players' lounge, but that's what that was right there. He had some English on that, some mustard.
Davide Moretti is 22 of 23 at the free throw line. That's 95.7%. He is the best free throw shooter in the Big 12. Good on the first one. He's got great form.
I would guess
that second one falls as well.
I mean, is there anybody? I mean, I would guess that he's one of the best in the country. I mean, when you're at nearly 96%, I would say that limits the field quite a bit.
Young man from Bologna, Italy, a sophomore for the Red Raiders. Now Texas Tech going to apply a little bit of pressure in the backcourt. Javon Levi over the timeline. That's Tyler Edwards defending. He'll drop back a bit. But only 14 on the shot clock for Rio Grande Valley. Running out of time. Tyson Smith in the corner. Terry Winn got Culver in the air and steps around the Red Raider forward, knocks down that shot.
Well, he's got 12 of the 29 points for the Vaqueros, and he's been, as advertised, great mid-range game. And Texas Tech tried to apply that full court pressure simply just to kind of slow this Rio Grande Valley team down a little bit, but they still got what they wanted, and he knocked down the look.
Brandon Francis' shooting woes continue. Guy just cannot find the range. 2 for his last 23. Nice penetration, and Varner able to finish off the assist from Levi. Suddenly a Red Raider lead back to only 7 points. Culver under some tenacious defense, trying to beat the buzzer at halftime and unable to do that. But the Red Raiders do lead here at the break.
Mic check 1 2, can you hear
from
me?
the United Supermarkets Arena in Lubbock, 38-30.
Champions. Join the Red Raider Club today. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas.
John Harris along with Chris Level here at halftime. United Supermarkets Arena in Lubbock. Texas Tech leading the Vaqueros of Texas Rio Grande Valley, but they've had a fight on their hands. UT Rio Grande Valley will get the ball to start this second half.
Yeah, and you had to feel pretty good if you're Coach Hill and his team going to the locker room right there, down 7, but played really well in that first half. Hit a lot of shots early.
Red Raiders did not have Lorenzo Diase in the first half, a regular starter for this team, and he is not out there to start the second half. Brandon Francis joins the other starters to get this second half going, and UT Rio Grande Valley losing that ball out of bounds on their opening possession. It'll belong to the Red Raiders here to start this second half, their initial possession. Matt Mooney had 8 in that first half. Culver 11. Deshaun Corprew, who started, had 7 points and 4 rebounds. Well, shot clock is at 9, Chris.
Yeah, the Vaqueros defense, it just doesn't allow you to run much. They deny everything, and yet Jarrett Culver continues to hit shots at the end of the shot clock. But you can't run a whole lot. They just kind of blow everything up and deny passes and make whoever's got the ball kind of dribble the air out of it.
Matt Mooney had gotten that ball to Culver on the baseline. It looked like he would have no chance to get a shot off, and threw it up and in as the shot clock buzzer sounded. Jordan Jackson left Javon Levi in a bad spot near the UT Rio Grande Valley bench, and then a struggle underneath for that ball. Tariq Owens and Varner, and Tariq going to be called for the foul.
Yeah, I think it's his first on the night. No, it's his second, excuse me, but he's got his arm caught in there as he went up for that loose ball.
Each team had 8 fouls called in that first half. Terry Winn was trying to get Culver off his feet. Culver did not go up, and that ball out of bounds to belong to the Red Raiders. Matt Mooney trying to get away from Javon Levi. And finally lost the ball to the Rio Grande Valley guard. He's looking for an opening, found Winn underneath. Quick shot there, not good. And Owens the rebound for the Red Raiders. Here's Jared Culver. Tariq outside that three-point line on the way off the iron, not good. Winn the rebound, and again UT Rio Grande Valley a chance to narrow the Red Raider gap, which is 9 at the moment.
And Texas Tech couldn't take advantage of that opportunity to get out and run. They want to, you know, it's interesting because a team that presses you like that, you want to run at every opportunity that you can in transition, so it doesn't allow them to set up anything that they want to do on defense. But you end up with a Tariq Owens three-point attempt. Does not go in, but you'd love to take advantage of all those opportunities where you can get out and run.
Tariq in his 105th career game tonight has made a couple of threes this season. But probably not where you want your 6'10" man inside shooting the ball a great deal. Corporew's back in. Nice pass down the court to Moretti, but Moretti had trouble controlling that ball. Red Raiders will set the offense. Tyson Smith defending Davide. There's Matt Mooney. Nice look inside Corprew. Had a double clutch, but scores.
Well, nice adjustment midair right there as he kind of waits for the defender to blow by right there. Hangs in the air. That reminded me of somebody like Andre Emmett back in the mid-2000s. He just had tremendous body control in the middle of the paint right there. And Sean Corprew, excellent work right there on the low block.
Really like Corprew. Terry Winn has done a great job for the Vaqueros this evening as well.
He is not afraid to shoot it, and he has made his fair share this evening. 6 of 11 from the field now. 14 points for Mr. Winn.
His best on the season is 18. Closing in on that. Here's Culver. Has a 30-point performance against Abilene Christian, 25 against Duke. Fouled on the drive.
You think people are starting to understand how good Jarrett Culver is? I mean, after that display in New York, I mean, and he's basically going against so many NBA types on the other team. He's got NBA players sitting there watching him, including a former teammate of his, Zaire Smith. Trae Young was there. Jimmy Butler was there. And decision makers from about a third of the NBA franchises there in that building to watch. And, you know, at times it looked like number 23 wearing a Texas Tech uniform may have been the best player on the floor.
He has certainly impressed this season. On the watch list for the Jerry West Shooting Guard of the Year Award, also the Oscar Robertson Trophy. Those are pretty select groups. And the Red Raiders sophomore from right here in Lubbock included on both. Pair of free throws. Red Raiders by 11 now as Culver exits. 15 in the game. Avery Benson in for the Red Raiders trying to defend Terry Winn. This shows you the absence of Odiase when Avery Benson is in the low block. A walk-on to this Red Raider program. Tyler Edwards, Malik Ondigo, Matt Mooney, and Deshaun Corprew for Chris Beard. Nice look again by Corprew underneath to Mooney, but no shot, but the guard steps away, in and out, not there, but Corprew going to fight for that ball, but Tyson Smith coming out of there for UT Rio Grande Valley.
And how many of those shots is Matt Mooney going to throw up that just rattle in and in and in and in again, and then it just pops out at the very last second.
Corprew off the miss, going to go right inside, bumps into Winn, lost that ball out of bounds. It's UT Rio Grande Valley basketball. Turnover by the Red Raiders, but Chris Beard's team
won a lot of games in the non-conference, which you have, would suggest that you are very good defensively. And I think that one thing we'll highlight tonight is this turnover margin statistic, because You had 24 in that game versus Duke, which is an eyesore. That nobody would be okay with that. Yet you still lead the league, and it's worth mentioning that's 25th in the country. You're plus 4.4 right there. This Rio Grande Valley team is 9th in the country. They are, I think, a +6 as far as turnover margin. So both of these teams do a really good job of having far fewer turnovers than the opposition.
That's a look at your Ford League leaders. Visit your local Texas Ford dealers today. Ford is the best in Texas. Red Raiders making it tough on UT Rio Grande Valley to get a shot. That nearly a three-pointer from the corner. Banked in, but did not go for DB Amaka.
Almost impossible to bank it in from the corner off the glass right there, but we almost just saw it.
There's Brandon Francis finally for Brandon, a shot that falls.
Yeah, if he can get going, it changes the dynamic of this basketball team. You're certainly some help defense right there. Swipes down at the basketball right there, but you know, if Francis is, as you mentioned, you talked about, I think, what, 3 of 23 in his last 2 or 3 games. But it's just mental. I mean, it's just the shots aren't going in, and you start to wonder, okay, I'm open. Do I pull the trigger? I mean, do I need to let somebody else shoot this thing? But this team has got to have him offensively to be what they need to be when league play gets here, and that's next week. I mean, you will be in Morgantown. Leave for Morgantown next Tuesday for a Wednesday night game there as conference play gets going quick.
That is a big one for the Red Raiders, opening on the road against the Mountaineers. Johnny Kranagarak, a 7-foot senior from Australia.
I prefer to call him just number 20.
He is a big dude.
Yeah.
Couple of free throws. Malik Ondigo in for the Red Raiders. That's Matt Mooney inside. Got kind of hung up underneath the backboard. What to do with the ball. He's got it back in his hands now, and the 7-footer trying to defend him. Culver, great look inside. Brandon Francis, the recipient. Great pass by Culver.
That's just, the ball never got stuck at all, and that's a great almost touch pass right there by Jarrett Culver. Didn't have much time left on the shot clock. Great finish by Brandon Francis. Little four-point spurt by Mr. Francis in the last few minutes.
Kyler Edwards went for the steal. Varner got that ball back and into the lane, but missed that shot, and then fouls Matt Mooney as he was chasing his errant shot. Red Raider basketball. Corporu back on. Ondigo out. Red Raiders spent a lot of time in their practice yesterday and today bringing the ball up against pressure, and they've seen that today.
And everybody's gotten a chance. You know, they're trying to put the ball in the hands of a weak ball handler to bring it up just to test him. And, you know, so far all the Red Raiders have passed.
Culver trying to get his teammates out of the way. He's got the 7-footer defending him. Three-pointer on the way is good for Culver. And no stopping him. Just absolutely no way.
Everybody on the Rio Grande Valley bench just shakes their head. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do with a step-back jumper like that from that far out. I mean, and you've got a longer defender on him. It still didn't help.
Culver's got 17 now. He's got another wide-open look. That one on the way. Couldn't get the bounce, but may steal that ball when it was saved back in bounds. Here's Corporu. Nice move inside. Great hustle by Jarrett Culver to save that ball after his miss, and then gets it inside to Deshaun.
Well, yeah, Lou Hill wants to talk about it with his team. Bit of a danger zone right now as the Red Raiders are pulling away.
Some of the experience that he lost from last year's team, and that's exactly what he did when he went out and found grad transfers Matt Mooney and Tariq Owens, who have both made a huge impact on the team this year.
Well, and you can see that Matt Mooney leads the Big 12 in steals per game. And he and Jarrett Culver, even though the Red Raiders don't shoot a huge number of three-pointers, are among the top 5 in the Big 12 Conference in terms of percentage shooting there. So they have certainly played a big role in the success of this Red Raider team.
Yeah, I'd hate to see what this team looked like without Matt Mooney. And he just, Levi Fair just took a fall.
Well, we'll take a break, I believe, and be back in a moment. You're watching Texas Tech TV here on Fox.
for their last 6 from the field.
Well, join us for our next broadcast. It comes up tomorrow afternoon as the Lady Raiders take on the Abilene Christian Wildcats. Chuck Hines and Jesus Arenas will bring you that game. Broadcast coverage begins at 3 p.m. Lady Raider basketball right here on Texas Tech TV on Fox.
And you almost thought that should have been a turnover right there, but they kind of an injury timeout, if you will, and they give the ball back to Rio Grande Valley out of the dead ball.
Tyson Smith, 6 on the shot clock for the Vaqueros, backing away, going to try to drive inside on Edwards. If he gets a shot off, did not, I don't think, in time. They'll stop play and give the ball to the Red Raiders. Lou Hill on that Vaquero sideline trying to work the official John Higgins, who had none of it at all. Higgins, a veteran of multiple Final Fours. In fact, Tom Eads also a Final Four official in this crew tonight. Matt Mooney going to drive inside around Jordan Jackson. The ball deflected and it out of bounds off the Red Raiders. A lot of individual play there by Mooney.
Yeah, just couldn't finish at the rim. Nice spin move right there, penetrates the lane, and yeah, get the ball knocked loose from him right there as he goes up to try to finish.
Trying to reel it back in, but off his hands and out of bounds. Varner, Tyson Smith, Jordan Jackson, Terry Winn, and Greg Bowie for the Vaqueros. Bowie threw it away. Mooney with the steal to Culver. Layup good. Culver's got 19. That's his average. Quickly, Tyson Smith back. Varner in the corner. Three-pointer good.
Both teams with a couple of transition buckets right there.
They just got down the court quickly and found Varner alone in the corner. Red Raiders, though, do lead by 16 as we near 10 minutes to go in the ball game. Culver trapped for a moment, and then Mooney threw it away. Wanted to go to Brandon Francis in the middle of the lane, but Corporu got it back. Here's Brandon from the corner. Still can't get that three-pointer to go.
Well, you know, Culver would be a great defensive back. I mean, that was, again, we talked about his body control earlier. That's just tipping that ball and kind of intercepting it, tipping it to himself right there. That's just high-level athleticism.
Corporu goes about 6'5", 210, and after the steal there a moment ago, Tyson Smith stepped in front of him and could have really been run over by the Red Raider.
Matt Wells maybe up in the stands going, man.
Might have to talk to him.
might want to take a look. We need an outside linebacker or a strong safety.
Tight end. He likes the tight ends.
Jordan Jackson yet to score in this game. 9:49 left. Comes in averaging 8 a game. You knew he would be wired up to play his former team, and yet to put one in tonight. 0 for 2 from the field. Emotional young man.
Well, has an opportunity here if he can run it down. Slap that ball away from the Red Raiders. Going to be fouled by Moretti. Brandon Francis blocked that shot. Certainly a great description of Jordan Jackson, is outstanding athlete.
Yeah, slasher, just a great athlete. Again, always with a smile on his face. Certainly did some good things here.
Spoke to him before the game. Back here where he played 23 games for the Red Raiders. Has not been a great free throw shooter, but looked good there.
And he scores for the first time tonight. Maybe he owes me for that one.
UT Rio Grande Valley averages just under 10 steals a game. They have 7 against the Red Raiders tonight. Jordan After that steal, making 1 of 2 at the free throw line.
And that's what I think impresses Coach Beard more than anything about this team, is that is their identity, and everything that they do defensively, and which creates a lot of their offense, is just based on that trapping, full court pressure style of defense, and then it certainly pays off. And you can recruit to a statistic like that. We're going to take chances on defense. We're going to let you gamble. We're going to, we want to get out and be aggressive. And the 10 steals a game certainly has paid off.
Ondigo's shot was blocked by Way. Vaqueros with the ball. Winn down inside trying to drop that ball off, but the Red Raiders take it away. Kyler Edwards, Matt Mooney are down the floor, but Edwards will wind up at the free throw line. The Red Raiders pride themselves on their defense as well, but they don't pressure you up and down the court. They do it a different way.
Yeah, it's definitely, half court style, but you will see them out of timeout. They'll pressure you full court, but they're not trying to necessarily create turnovers in the full court setting. They just want to try to slow you down at times. But yeah, when the game slows down, their help defense and rotations and things like that, it's as good as anybody in the country, and they practice it religiously. They take a lot of charges. They play for each other, help each other out, and never okay not to get over there and help out your teammate on the backside, things like that. So, and you've seen the shooting percentage. It was at 83% and 70% early on in this game for Rio Grande Valley, and now it's down in the below 40 for the game.
Great job defensively there. Javon Levi couldn't find a teammate to get the ball to. 5-second count. Turnover, Red Raider basketball. Tyler Edwards a moment ago, 1 of 2 at the free throw line. The Red Raiders, that was the first miss of the night by Tech at the free throw line. 9 of 10 are the Red Raiders. Tyler Edwards had the right idea, but threw it past Tariq Owens as he drove down the baseline. Uche Dibiamaka to Javon Levi. Terry Winn's had a big night shooting the ball wide open there. Couldn't knock it down.
A little outside his range, typically.
Culver doesn't need much of an opening. There you go. Lob that one up for Tariq Owens, and the grad transfer throws it down.
Well, and we asked for that early in the first half to get this crowd into it. You get it there, but Jared Culver, that's just high-level playmaking, because he draws the defense to him, throws that up one-handed off the dribble, and Tariq Owens is able to finish.
All right, get ready for another.
He's about to do the same thing.
That'll get a timeout call by Lou Hill on that Texas Rio Grande Valley sideline. Red Rackets Arena, the Red Raiders have had a fight on their hands, but have opened up a 20-point advantage over UT Rio Grande Valley. It is the Vaqueros basketball after that timeout. Red Raiders with the thundering dunk by Tariq Owens, set up on the Culver assist, and then Deshaun Corprew, who has equaled his career high as a Red Raider tonight with 13, the steal and breakaway dunk. Now the Red Raiders going to pressure Rio Grande Valley a bit in the backcourt, use up some of that shot clock. Greg Bowie, three-pointer offline, and Corprew another rebound. Got 8 in the game now to go with 13 points. Started tonight in place of Lorenzo de Ace. And has played well. Won a national championship at South Plains College in Levelland a year ago. Transferred here to the Red Raiders and has 3 years to play, Chris.
And you just never have to worry about his energy. Just very consistent with his game right there. There's another in and out ball by Matt Mooney. He's shaking his head, talking to himself back up the floor. But that's what we always have been appreciative of Corprew, watching him kind of get started at the D1 level here, is that it's just he brings it every single game, and he can affect the game in different ways. And so many times it's on the glass. He can provide offense off of the bench, and tonight he's obviously done it in the starting lineup. But tonight leading his team in steals as well, so he's done it on the defensive end.
Tariq Owens from Mooney inside laid that one up and in. Up and in over the outstretched arms of Isaiah Fontaine in the game for the first time tonight. Red Raiders back to a 20-point advantage, just under 6 minutes to play. Today Way's jump hook not there. Ball tapped out of bounds by a Red Raider. Here comes Brandon Francis for Jarrett Culver, who will check out with 19 points. Might be the last time we see him tonight.
Yeah, might want to get him some rest. Up 20.
Brandon Francis tapped that inbounds pass away. Edwards got it back to him, and Brandon finishes. Great hustle by the Red Raiders forced the turnover.
And he left his head coach hanging. As Chris Beard wanted a high five running down the floor, and Francis did not see him there.
Too busy focused on the game. That's Greg Bowie. Got Matt Mooney tangled up and will go to the free throw line. The second half has not been kind to Vaquero shooting.
Yeah, and you see the finish at the rim right here. We can see if the camera stays with it. There's oh, okay, it was an extended. They didn't actually touch, but yeah, he didn't outleave him hanging, I guess. Just a few feet in between there, but the sentiment certainly there. Can't leave the head coach hanging, man, when he asks for a little handshake or a high five, especially in the middle of the game.
The Red Raiders got to get Brandon Francis going for next week on the road at West Virginia, back home for Kansas State. A couple of tough ones to get league play going.
And he's got 6 second-half points.
Ball taken away by UT Rio Grande Valley. Javon Levi in the corner here, near side. Three-pointer not good by Bowie. Matt Mooney, I think, handed that ball off to Corpory. Then tried to fix his shoe. He's got shoe problems.
Yeah, his shoes folded up under, like off of his heel. And he's bothering him right now. He's
still playing. Oh, left it up by Tariq. Wow. The grad transfers make eye contact as Mooney and his bad shoe got in the lane and laid it up for Tariq. Still trying to just take it off. If he takes it off, they might stop play. Isn't that a brand of shoe that's not even available yet, Chris?
I think it may be one of those Under Armour.
One of those fancy NBA player shoes?
Yeah, Steph Curry's, maybe.
Oh, wow. Terry Winn. Mooney still trying to get the official to stop the game, and Tom Eads is telling him to play on. Well,
boy, and Terry Winn has done a really good job for this Vaqueros team tonight. 17 points, 7 of 14 from the field, and they've done all he could. Just not quite had enough help from his teammates.
Tariq Owens has scored. Back here in Lubbock, and a reminder, this copyrighted telecast is the property of Red Raider Sports Properties, LLC, under rights granted by Texas Tech University. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, reproduction, or other dissemination or use of this telecast or any part of it without the expressed written consent of Red Raider Sports Properties, LLC is prohibited. 3.5 minutes remain in Lubbock tonight. The Red Raiders on their way to winning their 46th consecutive non-Big 12 game at home. A 22-point advantage. Here's Javon Levi over Tariq Owens. That one not good. Varner tried to pull out of there with a rebound, nearly threw that ball away, and now Tariq taps it to Brandon Francis, who lays it in for the Red Raiders.
And Brandon, he just tumbled into the crowd after that finish right there.
Better hurry back or his coach will talk to him about that.
It's 8 second-half points, though, for Brandon Francis. Certainly something we were asking for, just much needed.
Varner tried the floater over Malik Ondigo. The 6'10" arms of Ondigo prevent that one from falling. The Vaquero squad that had 31 at halftime has found the scoring much tougher here in the second half with 14. Ondigo thought about a three and to drive that baseline. and draw the foul.
And that's somebody not paying attention to the scouting report right there when you go for the shot fake with the 3-point attempt right there from Malik Ondigo right there. I think you're saying, hey, big fella, you want to pull the trigger on that one, I'm okay with it. But was able to shot fake and drive baseline, gets the foul.
He has attempted 5 threes this year, but will not go to the free throw line, at least not yet. Josh Imbala is in for the Red Raiders, as is Parker Hicks. And Deshaun Corcoran, who's 1 rebound away from a double-double in his first career start, is on the floor as well for the Red Raiders. Corcoran looking for somebody to get that ball to. Here's Kyler Edwards with 5 on the shot clock. That one is not there, but Corcoran came away with the ball.
And there you go.
That might be number 10, and Kyler Edwards on a second chance. Nearly got it. Yep. He'll be at the line.
13 and 10 for Mr. Corcoran.
Interestingly now, has scored in double figures in 4 of the Red Raiders' last 5 games. The only one of those in which he was not in double figures would have been Duke.
I don't know what the expectation was necessarily for Deshaun coming into the season, but I would be willing to tell you that he's exceeded everything that I thought he would be for this team. He's done, yeah, you see a nice moment right there between him and his head coach on the sideline right there as he comes out of the game. But he's been a better scorer, a rebounder. I mean, just defender, everything. He is, and as you mentioned a second ago, he's got 2 more years to play after this one. Not your typical junior college transfer.
70-45 Red Raiders. Nagarak, the 7-footer from Australia, trying to turn into the lane. A lot of hands there go after that basketball. Benson and Andrew Sorrells were trying to take it away, and they do. Red Raider basketball. Kyler Edwards exits. Edwards adds 7 to the Red Raider totals tonight. 25-point advantage. Imbala likes to drive and does.
Yeah, he's not shy about it either. He kind of makes his mind up at some point. A long ways away from the basket. Here's where I'm going, and I'm going to get downhill. And he just that's just one dribble from outside the arc right there, and he's almost to the rim.
He is one of 3 true freshmen on this team for Chris Beard. 2 of them have played. Imbala and Kyler Edwards. The other, Kayvon Moore, is trying to overcome an injury, but has been working out. Might see him before long.
You know, and I'm real curious what they'll decide to do there. We're going to get another free throw attempt for Imbala as a lane violation, so he's going to get a 3rd attempt. Hopefully this one goes in. Yep, a little strong there.
But Malik Ondigo grabbing a rebound. And foul by Johnny Nagarak.
It would just be very difficult and hard for me to envision that Kayvon Moore could kind of knock the rust off after missing so much basketball the tail end of his senior year in high school, and then not playing in any non-conference, and say, hey, young fella, here we are in Morgantown, West Virginia. They're going to press you all game long. This is a head coach that's called out his basketball team in recent days and all that, and let's knock the rust off in this environment, or even back home against Bruce Weber in the ranked Kansas State team, which is your second, conference game. It just that's a lot to ask of that young man, and so I just don't know when we'll see him or if we will this year.
Top 40 player in the nation, coming out of West Side High School in Macon, Georgia. So he is a really good one if he does indeed wind up suiting up for the Red Raiders. A minute left in this one. Red Raiders 71-45. Texas Tech started this game 8 of 8 at the free throw line. They have struggled a bit since then. But Malik Ondigo and Josh Imbala are not your regulars at the line. Hicks' 3-point attempt not there. And that might be the last shot the Red Raiders take tonight. floater by Marlon Williams, and he will be at the free throw line. Williams had actually only taken shots against Georgia Tech this season, limited playing time, but will get the opportunity at the free throw line here.
Well, and that's the one thing you don't want to do if you're in a Red Raider uniform, is foul at the end of a game, stop the clock, and let Rio Grande Valley with a couple of free throw attempts right here. You want to play hard, good team defense, but try to do so without fouling.
Red Raiders, who were ranked 11th in the country this week, will go to 11-1 with this win over UT Rio Grande Valley. Avery Benson with an opportunity to dribble out the clock. I would be surprised if the Red Raiders shoot it, but you never know. Parker Hicks' pass stolen away, wanted to get it to Benson. Tyler Smith got it. Nagarak up front. 10 seconds remaining. Isaiah Fontaine going to drive on Ondigo and run over Sorrells underneath to draw the charge.
Yeah, Sorrells takes the charge. Chris Beard with a lot of clapping right there.
That'll do it. The Red Raiders are going to dribble this one out. 71-46. The Red Raiders over UT Rio Grande Valley here at the United Supermarkets Arena in Lubbock tonight. We'll wrap this one up in a moment.